Hi everybody, I'm Mike, and this is the Stanley Parable. Um, this is the developer's console. You may be wondering, why do you have this open? Well, this is one of one of the endings. There's a cheat. There you go.
Stanley, this is me being serious. In fact, this is my serious room. It's where I come to be serious. That table is the most serious table I could find. I looked at many, many tables, hundreds of tables. It's possible I looked at over 1,000 tables. I honestly don't know. The specific number isn't as important as the understanding that of all tables I looked at, this one is the most serious. I relate this story to impress upon you the extent to which this is the most serious room I have, which is why I brought you here. You just tried to activate server cheats, which of course runs the risk of breaking the entire game. You've got no respect for the strict order of scripted narrative events, and I just can't have that. It's time to get serious, Stanley. No jokes, no games. Outside of this room, I might be more tolerant of those things, but now we're in the room. Which is why I'm subjecting you to the most serious punishment I can think of.
Oh no.
100 billion trillion years standing here in the serious room. Perhaps after that, we can talk about the severity of your actions and whether you've learned anything. But until then, serious room, go.
Just gonna hope that the door would open. Oh, there's a chair in here at least. That's a pretty serious looking table. It doesn't look like much that's not serious happens on that table. Like that doesn't look to be like a table that you, well, yeah, no, this looks like a serious table. I mean, it might be the kind of table that you do some work on. Certainly doesn't look like the kind of table that you have a family gathering on, or you know, you take your wife and you throw her on when the kids aren't around. Doesn't look like that kind of table at all. It's a serious table. This looks like the kind of table you do your taxes on. You know what I'm saying? I don't like this chair. Look at this chair. It doesn't look serious at all. And you, bucket of whatever substance you're filled with, you're not serious at all, are you? You just got stuff spilled all out all over you willy-nilly. Why are there cardboard boxes all over the ground? All over here. I mean, what's up with that? What a pretty serious room, too. Anyway. Loading. I think that this, unless you guys can come up with some more stuff, is going to be the last regular Stanley Parable episode, I guess. Can we get rid of that? Fire to... There we go. Nope. Nope. Looks like I get that no matter what. Alright.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Yeah, I think I have explored basically all that I can about this game, and I'm going to start
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
For every day, so hopefully it'll be some fun. To be honest,
there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find... Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
To be honest with you guys, I haven't quite figured out what that next series is going to be. I guess I should figure that out pretty soon. I already have a series to replace Amnesia, but I don't have one to replace this in mind yet, so I have to do some thinking about that. Let's see if we can go to the washroom. No, not this time. I wonder what the parameters are for that.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unwrapped, Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
And some Chianti. Yeah. Music and Chianti. We can read some books too.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
All right. Now, there's something that I wanted to see here. And I don't know if it's necessarily here specifically, or if it's a little bit further along, but we're going to try it here. It's essentially going to be the last thing that I try. If it's not down here, it's probably a little bit further down. And that is something that we will look into. It wasn't here. Okay. Just kind of thinking about the games that I have and which one I want to start as a new series.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
I wonder. I really, really wonder. You know what? I don't think it's going to be here either. But we're going to give it a few seconds. I think it's a little bit further in. And that would be that it is.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
And now we wait. So I was thinking of doing maybe something piratey for the next series. Or maybe something funny like this. If you guys have any suggestions, let me know. If I have that game, or if I haven't already chosen the next game, I will definitely give it consideration. If there are any games that you'd like to see me play, let me know. And if I don't have them, or if I already do have them, rather, we'll look into making a series a little bit later on in the future. Well, I was under the impression that there was going to be some sort of secret here. Although, again, it may not be here. So, perhaps.
No.
He
refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Yeah, you get to see all the weird console messages in the top left.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine. unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him.
Nope.
For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Indeed he was. Well, that's going to about do it for me here, guys. I hope that you enjoyed watching this series as much as I enjoyed playing it, because I think this is a really, really interesting game. This is one of my favorite games of the year. It's... I mean, I know it's originally born from a Half-Life 2 mod, but, it's...
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go any way except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer.
All right.
Here it comes.
Maybe I shouldn't have closed the door. Anyway, I like that this is the direction that games are going in. That you can tell a story, and there's not even many gameplay elements to this, but it's funny. It's a good story. And it has a lot of replay value. I mean, obviously, you go and you play through this a bunch of times, and I don't know. I just think it's a really good game, and it's made by so many developers, which I mean, obviously, is something that I like. If you've looked at what kind of games I generally play on my channel, and I think that that if gaming kind of goes in this direction. I'll be happy for it anyway. I'd like to know what you guys think. But yeah, if you like this episode or you just want to support the series, feel free to go ahead and leave a thumbs up down below. If you haven't subscribed and you feel like that's something that you may want to do, that button's down there as well. If you have any positive or negative feedback, just let me know down in the comment section below. If you want to join me on Facebook or on Steam, you can do that by clicking on one of the links in the description down below. But I have been Mike, you have been you, and this has been the Stanley Parable. I'd like to thank you all very much for having watched, whether it's just this episode or the entirety of the series, and we'll catch you in the next one. Thanks. Have a good night. Bye-bye.